Story time about how I rescued a kitten out of the left lane of the highway and took him home with me. This is him now. But this was him the day I found him. Backstory, I was on the way to the vet with my dog and I saw this little animal in the road. And at first I was like, is that a squirrel? But then I saw his head looking around and I was like, oh my God, that's a kitten. So I pull over to the side of the road. I run into the middle of the road and I just start sprinting against traffic. Luckily, there were no cars because they had caught a red light up ahead. It was just the most perfect timing. So I'm sprinting, right? I'm sprinting to this kitten. I get to him and I see this giant wound on his head and he's tiny. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is horrible. A car pulls up and sees me and stops, and this man gets out and he gets a box out of his trunk and brings it over so that we can put him into the box. I am forever grateful for this man stopping because I don't know how I would have picked him up or what I would have done. I was so scared that he'd been like hit by a car and that he wasn't gonna be okay. So after he helps me, I have this guy in a truck pull up and like literally honk at me. And I was like, dude, run me over. I'm going down with this cat. So once I had the box, I ran back to my car, I put him in the car with me, and I drove as fast as I could to the vet. Once I got to the vet, they pretty much told me, hey, we can't do any medical treatment on him unless you claim him as your pet. So obviously, I was like, okay, I'll be his mommy. They told me that he was a boy, and they brought him into the room, wrapped up in a baby blanket. Look at him, he was just a baby, and he was not feeling good, poor little guy. So they sent me home with 2 different kinds of antibiotics and a painkiller because poor little dude was scalped down to his bone. We still don't know how it happened or how he even ended up in the middle of the road, but it was very sad. This was him after a few days of recovery. He finally learned how to play, and he was starting to feel better at this point. This is when I would take him in the car, and look at how freaking cute he was once he started feeling better. What's crazy is the night before I had applied to adopt a kitten, but that specific cat had already been adopted out. The cat distribution system said, nah girl, I got you, there's one coming. I'm seriously so grateful every single day that I found him. He has brightened our lives in so many ways, and he's the reason we adopted our second cat, Cora. This is Cora, she's very silly. I'm using like the worst photos of them, but bear with me. But Cora led to us fostering more kittens and just getting involved with a local animal rescue, and none of that would have happened without Koa. His name means warrior in Hawaiian, and it's so suiting for him because he really had to fight for his life to survive. Anyways, this is a sign to